So, on Friday, when I did my video, my New Japan review, I said that the next video I was going to do was going to be a Chikara themed video, where I basically would kind of speculate on the future creative direction of the company as we head into the Young Lions Cup and as we head into the latter part of Season 9 as a whole. I wanted to do that video after I saw Chikarasaurus Rex, which I had not yet received, having ordered it on DVD, and I thought that that would be the next video I would do, because I assumed wrongly, that I would get Chikarasaurus Rex. It would arrive at my doorstep on Monday. Monday came and went, no DVD. Tuesday came and went, no DVD. So on last night, I decided that I was tired of waiting for this show and putting off watching other shows because of this DVD that was not early in arriving. So I went ahead and I watched Noah's 10th anniversary show, or at least the 10th anniversary show that they have ran in Osaka. Basically how Noah is working this is they're going to have two shows promoted under the banner of being their 10th anniversary show, two main shows at least. The first one was in Osaka on the 24th of July, and the second one will be in Tokyo on the 22nd of August. Geography, and just the mere fact that the second show is the second show, would suggest that the Tokyo show is going to be the better show. If that turns out to be the case, then I'm more excited for that show than anything else this year, and that includes Glory by Honor, because this show had some special stuff on it, and I'll keep note how I'm saying that, because I'm saying it had some special stuff on it. I'm not saying the show itself was special, because, you know, as a show, this definitely had some pacing issues. This was not fun from beginning to end. You can see that from the star ratings, that the fact that the first third of this show, I would say, the first 4 matches were not fun, hard to sit through, and had you thinking at the end of them that this show is not fun, I should just turn this off and go back to it later. That's a failure of this show. That is definitely a failure, and I was tempted to stop watching and come back to it later. In addition to that, by the time you get to the main event, you don't care about the main event, because you've just seen something so good and so wonderful that you're just too burnt out to care about the main event. Now, you know, you don't care for a very good, very wonderful reason, but it's still a deficiency on the show that the main event is in a position where you just don't care about it. So, as a show, this had some issues, but the matches that are great beat out anything that, you know, I lauded praise on New Japan's Dominion pay-per-view. I've continually brought that up. As a show, that flows so well. The great stuff is just where it needs to be, and everything works right where it is. As a show, that is a better overall show. But there's some stuff on here that makes you go wow, and, you know, there are at least 2 matches, in my opinion, there are 2 matches on here that could make someone's top 10. I don't have a top 10 on my page yet. I don't know if I ever will have a top 10 on my page. I'm going to see, you know, I just don't watch as much indies as everyone else does. That said, I might have a top 10 on my page soon, and once we get that, we're going to have here two matches that would reach that top 10, and the better of those 2 matches is now my match of the year. Yes, it is. I liked it more than Davey and Tyler, liked it more than Sean and Taker. I absolutely loved it, and I'm going to go into that pretty soon. I'm not going to talk about the whole show, because the show itself does not deserve that. It does not deserve a whole full review, but there are 2 matches that do deserve a full review, because let's just kind of set the stage for how we got to that point and how the show had been up to that point. You know, we have 4 matches, the first 4 matches, which were not fun, not very easy to sit through, and by the end of them I was really kind of annoyed and thinking that I could be doing something else at this time. I decided to stick around for the next part of the show because it looked like the card was going to get better. It looked like things were going to pick up, but I was just wondering if they're going to pick up enough to where I can still say this is a great show. Sugiura and Taniguchi went out there and they put on a very good match. Not great. It was good enough to where I was encouraged to stick around for the rest, but not good enough to where I could think that this show could still be called great. But I did stick around, and it's a very good thing. It's a very lucky thing that I was encouraged to stay for the rest of the show, because then we got a tag team match. Interpromotional tag team match, Noah versus New Japan, Marufuji and Aoki versus Nakamura and Gedo. I don't think everyone's going to necessarily agree with me on this, because it's not your typical tag team match, but that's what I loved about it. I thought this was an excellent match. It had all the elements, in my opinion, to make an interpromotional match great. It started off at a very cautious, slow pace, But to me, I liked that because it kind of transmitted the message that the victory was very important, and you just could not afford to take any unnecessary chances, because if you make one mistake, if you make one misstep, it's going to cost you, and you're going to end up on the short end of the stick. Now, you might be asking yourself, and with good reason, how can that be entertaining for the fans' perspective, and how can that make for an entertaining match? Easy. When they did speed things up, they sped things up at exactly the right amount to where you were entertained very much by it, but you still had the idea, you were still getting the message that this was an important victory, and you could not afford to make any missteps, and no one was going too far. That's what I really loved about it. And there was some great spots, but nothing over the top. And you know, everything just worked, in my opinion. The offense was so intelligent. It wasn't relying on, you know, just any other forms of drama, you know, false finishes, none of that going on. And I loved it that much. And you know, once we got to the ending sequence with some great exchanges between Nakamura and Marufuji, I was just so into this. I was just eating this up, and it just eventually led to a satisfying conclusion. And the thing, you know, the thing to love about this match is it was just so unique and so different from everything. So different, I thought. I absolutely loved this match, and I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be. I don't think there's any tag match I like more than this year, apart from, you know, Briscoes and Kings of Wrestling at Death Before Dishonor. That's the only tag match I liked more than this. I don't think everyone will agree with that, but I absolutely loved that match. To me, that just worked. To me, it just had everything an interpromotional match should have. You know, I loved Makabe versus Shiozaki for the fact that they made it feel like an interpromotional match, and I think this match just had the same quality. Just the work rate was just better than even that match at Dominion. So, big thumbs up for that match. I was thinking to myself after that match was over, thank God I stayed on for the ride, and I don't know how this next match, Go Shiozaki versus Kensuke Sasaki, could be any better than what I just saw. Yeah, I was wrong. I was so wrong. You know, if you don't want me to go into spoiler mode and pretty much give away all the spots of the match, you should probably turn this off and just go find the match and watch the match, because this, I don't see how anyone could at least say this is not great. You know, you might not give it 5 stars like I did, but you're gonna have to. I don't think anyone could say this match is not great. Just throwing that out there. But I will go into everything I loved about this match. It probably will spoil stuff. So if you don't want that, just find the match and watch the match and form your own opinion on it. You know, I was going into this after loving the last match, thinking that there's no way I'm going to be able to enjoy this match as much, because I was in that mode where I love tag team wrestling and I wanted to see more tag team wrestling, and this is just not going to fit in with the mood I was in. And I was definitely thinking that for the first 7 minutes, when things were just kind of slow and not overly entertaining. But then things got a little better when Sasaki struck Shiozaki's arm in a nasty sort of way that made me think, okay, Sasaki is going to take control of the match by working over Shiozaki's arm, and he's going to take a very believable stance as the domineering presence in this match. That's not what they did. They went ahead with Sasaki taking control of the match, but it was kind of more of a full frontal body assault, and I was thinking to myself, that's a missed opportunity. They should have went for the arm. That would have made the match even better. You know, not to say that what was going on was bad, because Sasaki was taking a very believable domineering position. I just think it could have been done better. But then Shiozaki made an awesome comeback, draws the biggest crowd reaction by far throughout this show. The crowd came alive for this, and what made this so awesome was the fact that they, again, intelligent drama that did not rely on false finishes, near falls, and then they kind of proved me wrong on how Sasaki chose to take the domineering position. You know, he didn't go for the arm, he went for the full body assault, and this actually started to make sense once they got into the chop battle. The chop battle, where you're thinking, okay, this is going to be fun, but it's going to go too long, and then it's going to start sucking. And it did. It kind of did, because, you know, it made sense. It definitely made sense, because that was what Sasaki was choosing to work over for his dominant position in the match. So a chop battle did make sense, but it did feel like it was going too long, and I was starting to think this is going to take away from the match. And then something happens at the end of the chop battle. Shiozaki gets chopped, he looks to return the favour, and then his strength just fails him, and he clutches his chest, and he gives way to Sasaki, making the ending sequence just make so much sense and look amazing, and it compensated for the fact that it did appear as though the guy who was being groomed to go over did not go over in this match. But everything just worked. everything, just, they proved me wrong on so many different things that I thought were going to take away from the match, and they made them work, and that's what I loved about this match. I'm going to go ahead and say 5 stars on Match of the Year. You know, I don't think anyone, you might not fall in love with this match like I did, but you're going to at least think this match is great, in my opinion. So I would say find this match and check this match out. Like I said, this show definitely has pacing issues in the fact that you're not entertained from beginning to end, and it has a very mediocre first third. But the thing about it is, though, by the time you get to the end of the show, and by the time you're finished with all the great stuff, the first third of the show feels like such a long distance away, such a long time ago that you saw that part of the show, that it doesn't feel like it takes away from the show. It does, but you forget that when you're being engulfed by the greatness that was the second 2/3. So I would definitely say, you know, find the matches that are great on here. You might not be able to find them easily at this stage because it is a very recent show. You might have to download the whole show like I had to do, but there are 2 matches on here that, in my opinion, are must-sees, and that's what the purpose of this video was, to tell you to check those matches out. I'll be back with the Chikara video pretty soon, because I do have the DVD now. It did come today. I just do not feel like watching it today, maybe not even tomorrow, because I'm just so... I'm still just amazed over the match that I just cannot watch another bit of wrestling for a while now. So, check the matches out. That's all I have to say. I'm out. Later.